All right, y'all, we are back with another video. And before we start, please put prayers for Donald Trump in the comment section. We must protect President Trump at all times. We know there's some crazy lunatics, some crazy people out here that's trying to take out the president. So please put prayers in the comment section for Donald J. Trump. Now, it brings me to this video right here where, did y'all see Kamala Harris rally? I think they said it was only about 60 people there. And now it seems like her own side is trying to get her up out of there, thinking Joe Biden should change his nominee. He should, put somebody else in the spot against Donald Trump. And a lot of them don't even think it should be Kamala Harris, which in my case, I don't care who it is. I don't see any of them beating Donald Trump. None of them. So it seems like Kamala Harris is mad right now because Biden may replace her. And Obama had something to do with it. So that fake phone call that he playing like he endorsed her, Obama don't care anything about Kamala Harris. He trying to get her out of there as well. It's been exposed. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into this. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. That way you can stay up to date with everything that's going on. These people think they can fool us. They think we stupid or something like that. But let's go ahead and dive straight into this so y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Alright guys, so I'm seeing a whole lot of dooming, a whole lot of chicken littling. The sky is falling. Kamala Harris is now the opponent, and all of a sudden Republicans are running scared. Am I seriously witnessing this? Now I know there's been a couple polls that have dropped that Democrats ran wild with on Twitter, but are we really not looking at the big picture? Are we really gonna have this much of a panic attack because of one or two polls that aren't even really what Democrats are making them out to be? This is my message to all the dooming and panicking and all the "see, I told you we should have went with Ron DeSantis" that I'm seeing on Twitter. Hold your freaking horses, take a deep breath. I'd really like to let you guys know that almost nothing has changed. Let's try to break through all the hysteria and just focus on the clear facts on what we're actually seeing here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so we're going to start off with this. Why are we all pretending as if the moment Joe Biden announced that Kamala Harris would be replacing him, that everything changed? Because I'm pretty sure nothing's changed. I'm pretty sure this dude right over here, this Michigan auto worker, represents how most people are feeling.
We did run into plenty of fervent Trump supporters who say the new challenger has only made them more enthused about the former president.
Does Kamala Harris getting in the race change the equation at all for either of you?
Change it, it ruins it. If she gets in, we're done. So
Done with what?
America's done for.
Does it change anything? Is everything now better? Are the Democrats now forgiven for their destruction of the American nation? No, it makes it worse. Obviously. Everybody wants to pretend as if the only problem with the Biden-Harris administration was Joe Biden's age. Honestly, that was the least of the problems. The problem was the priorities, the legislation, the track record on certain issues like the southern border and others, the foreign policy failures. Does Kamala Harris now magically fix all of that? Does it all just poof go away? No, of course not. She is complicit. And everybody knows it. I was just talking about Joe Biden's age. Well, even on the issue of Joe Biden's health, Kamala Harris was obviously complicit, and everybody knows that. There's a poll that's suggesting 92% believe that Kamala Harris was involved in Biden health cover-up. Nobody's forgotten anything. And this fake, totally manufactured Kamala hype doesn't actually exist, and Republicans shouldn't be panicking. In fact, even CNN admits that.
Thing to keep in mind, I think there's all this talk of all this Harris momentum. Maybe there's a slight bit of momentum, but I would argue it's actually a little bit smaller than folks think. So pre-Biden dropping out, look, Trump was up by 2 over Harris. We look at the polls now this week. What do we see? We see Trump is up by 1 over Harris. The massive change is actually the change of candidates, because prior to Biden dropping out, he trailed by 6 points among these in these exact same polls that we look at here, where Harris was only trailing by 2 points. So the movement is actually from Biden to Harris, not actually Harris herself necessarily moving.
I've seen all the dooming. I've seen all the exact kind of people that you'd expect on Twitter saying the same kind of thing. Oh no, it's over. The Democrats have a fresh face. Really? Kamala Harris is a fresh face? I mean, give me a break. I told you we should have went with Ron DeSantis. What on earth are you talking about? Stop with the doom and gloom and stop with the copium. Literally nothing has changed. You know, back in 2016, back in 2020, at this point in the election cycle, you would still expect Donald Trump to be probably trailing his opponent by maybe 3 to 5 points in the polls on average. Early polling data in the last couple of elections at some points showed Trump down in the polls by almost 10. But back then the attitude was the polls are fake, show up and vote, enthusiasm matters, let's get the job done. It's winnable. But now the polling outlook, well, still looks like this. Up in most of the swing states, his path towards victory essentially looks identical to what it looked like facing Joe Biden, maybe slightly narrower, for now, who says that's going to remain that way, and everybody's crying. Honestly, it's bothering me a little bit. Snap out of it, project some confidence. The doom and gloom gets you nowhere. In fact, all the doom and gloom does is reinforce these phony left-wing narratives that Kamala Harris is somehow a threat. She's never been perceived as such by no one. Nobody except for your typical establishment supporting blue anon Democrats have ever liked Kamala Harris. I mean, at one point there, after her failure as border czar, even the mainstream press was throwing her under a bus. I mean, the conversation for quite a while was, will Joe Biden replace Kamala Harris? Her even being on the ticket in 2024 was in question. But now we're going to pretend like she's a great threat leading the ticket? Where did that come from? If you give that narrative any sort of validity, you're acting like you're losing.
I mean, they pretty much don't even want Kamala Harris, because if you look at what Jake Tapper, look what CNN and MSNBC was saying about Kamala Harris, that they don't like her. She's too far left. Her own side said that. They really do not want Kamala Harris against Donald Trump. She is not finna beat Donald Trump no matter how they try to hype it up, because behind the scenes, Obama is trying to get her replaced. Obama them wanted to go with Gavin Newsom or somebody else. They didn't want Kamala Harris. So that little fake phone call making it seem like, hey, me and Michelle, we're going to endorse you. All that was just for camera. That's the reason why it was recorded. And why did it take Obama so long to endorse her? Why did it take him so long? Because back then, remember, Obama, he didn't like Biden or Kamala Harris. He wanted both of them gone. He wanted to get fresh faces up in there. So this right here is just all a freaking lie. They do not like her at all. Now they just trying to ride the momentum. Oh, she's a black woman. All the black people is going to vote for her when the woman is not even black. Now you see the reason why she only had 50 to 60 people at a rally, when Donald Trump bringing in a total of 25,000. And then we see what he had in New Jersey. Had over 100,000 people show up in a blue state. You think Kamala Harris can get that many people to come see her? No. Joe Biden can't. Joe Biden couldn't fill up a high school gym. And now you got, Kamala Harris. She doing rallies in McDonald's. I mean, like, come on. They really want her out of there. They trying to fake like they want her in there. I'm telling you now, if Donald Trump debate her and he destroy her, the next morning, I guarantee you, CNN and MSNBC going to talk about, oh, we got to replace her. That's not going to work. She's worse than Biden. I guarantee you that. And that's the reason why Donald Trump is not finna fall for that. He's not going to put all his time and effort into, going against Kamala Harris. And the only thing they're going to do is just try to get her replaced and throw in somebody else. They're trying to see who's the best candidate to go against Donald Trump. They do not believe in Kamala Harris. They want this woman gone. We've seen the reports, all this stuff that's coming out acting like this fake love, like they really think she's going to do something when she's not. And I'm going to expose it.
And when you act like you're losing, well, you might just lose. What I'm seeing right now is a win. I'm seeing the same freaking enthusiasm that I saw before. I mean, just take a look at Trump's most recent rally in St. Cloud, Minnesota.
Look at that. Look how many people is there for Donald Trump. Look at that. All those people. Look at all those people. Them people that couldn't even get in. A lot of them couldn't even get in.
Then, of course, Trump walks on stage doing something beyond epic, walking out on stage to 50 Cent's Many Men.
The next president of the United States
arguably one of the most badass moments in American politics.
Yeah.
Although, of course, Trump will never beat himself after that fight moment. You know, the enthusiasm is still there. The viral moments are still hitting. The cultural shift is still happening. Let's not allow this totally contrived, phony media propaganda push to blur our vision. Enough with the infighting and all the insecure nonsense. I mean, for Pete's sakes. Just to make another point about Republican dooming, I'm seeing the same thing with J.D. Vance. Oh, J.D. Vance is going to take Donald Trump down because he said something about Mountain Dew and something about cat ladies. What are we talking about? The Democrats are running a literal communist that bailed violent rioters out of prison, who's pushing a platform of equity, increased taxes,
I already knew once he picked J.D. Vance, I knew they were going to start going after him. I knew they was going to bring up his past when he called Donald Trump Hitler and said all these bad things, but I just knew they was going to do that. And like I said, one of the other reasons I really wanted him to go with Vivek, which I don't have a problem with J.D. Vance, if Donald Trump, respects him and he picked him, so we just gonna have to go with that. Even though I wish it was Vivek. But that's me. But I knew that they was going to use certain talking points J.D. Vance said back then towards Donald Trump. But like I said, I have no problem with J.D. Vance at all. But let's keep it going.
Ending fracking, open borders, sanctuary cities, no bail cash reform. They're running a literal far-left communist. And we're talking about J.D. Vance's Mountain Dew comments and him making a point about how the Democrats are
Kamala Harris said no cash bail. She want to raise state tax and all type of stuff. Why would somebody want to vote for that? Who want to vote for somebody who's trying to raise your taxes? Who wants to vote for that? No cash bail. She trying to keep murderers and people who R-word people, want to keep them on the streets, don't want them in jail. I mean, come on. Letting illegals come up in here. And then she literally on camera saying it's not a problem. Illegals can come in here. I don't care if they come in here illegally, whatever the case may be. It's not a problem. That's what she want. How can you vote for that?
Destroying the family. It's all so ridiculous. Not to mention this supposing, career-ending clip for J.D. Vance is totally out of context, and when you actually listen to him and what he means and the point that he's trying to make, it's almost impossible to disagree with.
I know the media wants to attack me and wants me to back down on this, Megan, but the simple point that I made is that having children, becoming a father, becoming a mother, I really do think it changes your perspective in a pretty profound way. This is something, of course, we've recognized for hundreds of years in this country, that human civilization has always recognized. But there's a deeper point here, Megan. It's not a criticism of people who don't have children. I explicitly said in my remarks, despite the fact the media has lied about this, that this is not about criticizing people who, for various reasons, didn't have kids. This is about criticizing the Democratic Party for becoming anti-family and anti-child. We have to ask ourselves, Megan, why do we have masking of toddlers years after the pandemic ended? Why do we have the Harris campaign coming out this very morning, Megan, and saying that we should not have the child tax credit, which lowers tax rates for parents of young children? It's because they have become anti-family and anti-kid.
Let's not run away. Let's not let the Democrats play their peer pressure games where they try to shame conservatives into taking a step back. Have your feet planted firmly in the ground. Stand for what you stand for. Enough with condemning your own side, attacking your own side, promoting the Democrat narrative that doesn't exist. It's certainly not time to be pressing the panic button. If it was time for that, you'd be hearing it from me. You'd be seeing it all over the place from all the right-wingers doing their polling analysis videos, but almost nothing has changed. It's red as the eye can see. The path towards victory is still viable and still lies in the Rust Belt. It's just about enthusiastically pushing a message now. It's campaigning time. Let the people know who Kamala Harris is. That's exactly what I'm doing. I got another video dropping today going over all of her worst moments and all of her worst qualities. Kamala Harris is very beatable. All that needs to happen is the work needs to be put in. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you.
Well, there you go right there. Salute to Liberal High Mind. Does a great job over there on his channel. Make sure y'all go over and hit that subscribe button. Let him know that I sent you. He always keeping us up to date with everything that's going on. But as you can see, man, this woman's policies is just garbage. I can't really see. And the thing is, they trying to use this race thing that she's black when a woman is not even black. I mean, look at her policies, man. This woman is more concerned about letting murderers and R-words people out of jail, no cash bails, raising state taxes, leaving the border open. Who wants all of that? Who wants all of that? I mean, if we trying to make America great again, We must get President Trump back in office. Because if Kamala get in there, we are done. I mean, we already in trouble now. We sure enough gonna be done if she get in there, which I don't believe is gonna happen. Donald Trump is gonna win by a landslide. You can guarantee that. But thank you all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.